Hey everybody, it's Keith. Welcome to Wednesdays in Bed with Keith. I'm so sorry about last week. I was down for the count. You can probably hear still I have a little congestion in my nose, but all is good. So here we are, and let's get going. So while I was laying around doing nothing, I started thinking about my career a little bit, and I was thinking about all the funny situations that sort of arise when you work with people. And we basically have sort of like an unwritten Hippocratic oath, right? Like you never want to talk about what happens in your chair or what the clients actually say to you in your chair, because that just makes for not a good reputation. And it's just not right. But there are moments outside of the salon that occur, and those are some of the funniest times, because you're privy to a lot of stuff that some people might not be privy to. So anyway, I was thinking about like this one night when Rob and I were out to dinner, and we ran into this couple who used to be clients of the old salon where I used to work at, and so she sort of caught my ear and he caught Rob's ear because he's like a big car, like he loves cars and stuff like that. And so they were talking about cars, and she and I were talking, and three sheets to the wind. I mean, like they probably had their allotment for the year of alcohol in that one evening, but still it was. So anyway, she starts talking to me, and she's sort of like rambling on about like gay people and guys, and she met these friends of ours and blah 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 blah, and she loves them and so on and so forth. And then she starts telling me about like their sex life, which I really don't need to know about. Like I really don't. Like people might think I want to know about that, but I really don't. And so anyway, she was going on to say how she was going to have this pole installed in their bedroom, and she was going to do pole dancing and all this kind of nonsense. And then all of a sudden he's like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "Oh, nothing." She's like, "Pay attention to your cards." She's like, "We're just talking girl talk." And I was like, "Girl talk? When did I become like your girl?" So anyway, all of a sudden she blurts out that, before they have sex, he has to watch gay porn. Okay. So I'm not judging, nor do I care, but he overheard something about porn, and he was like, "What did you just say?" And she was like, "Oh, I told him how you like gay porn." And he was like, "Oh my God." And now I was like, "Oh my God." Like, I'm not sure I'm ever going to look at him the same way again. And so that's like stuff that just sort of randomly happens. But the movie Shampoo did like a disservice to the hairdressing industry. I mean, they sort of glamorized it and sexualized it, but they gave everybody like this false notion that like, we like to sleep around and we like to, hit on everybody, and the customers are all like, anyway, it doesn't matter because it's basically not true. I mean, yeah, you do have some moments of, pure joy and fun, but whatever. So anyway, when I was about 22, I had this client, and she was the mother of these kids that I had gone to high school with. We weren't in the same class, but we were in the same years in high school. So I kind of knew her, and she asked me if I would do her hair for this wedding that she had to go to. So I did on a Saturday afternoon. And I get to their house, beautiful home, and she's like, "Oh, we'll do it in the bedroom," and blah, blah, blah. And I was setting up, and she's like, "I'll go wash my hair." And she's like, "Oh, can you come help me wash my hair?" And when I go into the bathroom, of course, she's in the shower. Like, she's in the shower, hair soaking wet and whatever. And I was just like, "Oh my God." And she's like, "Can you get in and help me?" And I was thinking, no, like, this isn't my fantasy. I know this is your fantasy, but it's not going to happen. You're barking up the wrong tree. And I just was like, "Can you pay me and let's get this thing going?" So I did her hair, and I was out the door, never to be seen in that house ever again. It was like, so anyway, that leads me to one of my favorite stories where I was hired by this family to do hair for, I think it was a wedding also. And, it was multiple people, and I went to their home, and the house was lovely, and it was, ocean, looked over the ocean, and just a beautiful setting. So we're upstairs, and I'm doing the hair of all the women, and I probably like blew through like about 4 of them. The men were downstairs having cocktails on the deck, and all of a sudden the wife was, she was like, "Hey, go get, Dad, and he needs to come up because it's time for for him to get in the shower and get dressed and blah, 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 blah. In the meantime, I'm doing the grandmother's hair. Nice little old lady. And so the father, comes upstairs and he's sort of like fumbling a little bit. And he had a few cocktails himself. And so all of a sudden, he lays down on the bed. And the mother is like, what are you doing? You have to get in the shower. And the kids are like, yeah, Dad, get in the shower. And the grandmother even was chiming in. She was like, you're gonna make us late. And so anyway, he's like, gets up and he sort of looks at them all and he goes, I'm not getting in the shower unless Keith gets in the shower with me. And I was like, whoa, whoops. And so the grandmother goes, what did you say? And he goes, I said I'm not getting in the shower unless Keith gets in the shower with me. I want him to wash me. So now, game on, right? I was like, oh my Lord. So now the wife is like, oh, just shut up and get in the shower. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. You're drunk. And I was like, he might be drunk. I said, but alcohol, truth serum, there's like a little connection there. Like, So anyway, he finally gets up and he mopes and he goes into the shower and I stay out of the shower because that's nowhere I'm going to be. And so, although it was better than my first experience with someone in the shower, and I was just cracking up. And so anyway, I finish up and go. 4 days later, I'm at the gym. And I look over and there he is doing his bench presses. So I walk over to him and I'm like, hey. And he's like, hey. So I said, what's going on? And he's like, nothing. Just trying to get through my workout. And I was like, oh, that's so interesting. I said, I just finished mine. I said, and I'm about to take a shower. I said, would you care to join me? And he's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And I said, really? Because I think you do. And he's like, oh, get away from me. And I said, you know what I think? I think it's always the little guys driving the sports cars with the big egos who just make